With Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire right around the corner, or already out by the time that this video is released, Mechagodzilla, who was the main antagonist for Godzilla vs. Kong, was shown to ragdoll both Godzilla and Kong around Hong Kong until being defeated by a charge of axe. And ever since Godzilla vs. Kong has released, one question has pondered the Godzilla fanbase. Is Mechagodzilla actually strong in the Monsterverse? And if so, just how powerful is he really? And today I will dive in depth into the Monsterverse scaling to determine if Mechagodzilla is indeed as strong as many people make him out to be, or if he's actually complete and utter garbage. Now, before I start the video, I will be going over things like his physical strength, his attack potency, and his durability. Everything else I won't really be going over, as they're mostly irrelevant for this. And without further ado, we're going to jump straight into his scaling. Now, before I get started going over Mechagodzilla scaling himself, we're going to be going over Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Kong to determine if he's stronger than he was previously shown in 2014, 2019, Aftershock, etc. Now, I have already gone over this in a previous video of mine, so if you don't want to hear the arguments, I recommend skipping ahead. Now, for those who did stick around and want to either rehear the arguments or haven't heard them before, I will be getting into those right now. Now, Godzilla is repeatedly stated to be stronger than he was previously shown, and that he was stronger, he was stronger than Ghidorah in 2019. However, I would say that these statements are incorrect for a couple reasons. Now, for starters, all the Toho statements that say he was stronger than before is wrong, because Toho has no authority over the statements that go into the Monsterverse. And yes, even though they own the rights to Godzilla, they don't associate with the producers of Godzilla vs. Kong, and so they kind of just throw blind statements into, guidebooks and stuff like that to make them seem valid, when they don't even consult with Adam Wingard and them about the statements to see if they're accurate and things like that. Other reasons include Greg Keyes himself stating that Godzilla wasn't even full strength in Godzilla vs. Kong, with the novel further supporting this by saying that Godzilla was half-rested, and that Mark ties it in by saying that Godzilla was hibernating. Adam Wingard also stated that Godzilla presumably was going nuts in the ocean before the events of GVK.
Yeah, so this scene used to be much more of a Godzilla and Mechagodzilla, battling it out, and there was a lot more give and take, and ultimately it just didn't work. It was like, at the end of the day, the only thing that that really made sense to show in this part was Godzilla just getting his ass handed to him. I mean, Mechagodzilla is designed to take on Godzilla, and Godzilla, by the way, I think would probably do a lot better in this fight if he hadn't have just gone a couple rounds with Kong. I mean, Godzilla's pretty tired. I mean, he hasn't had a chance to really slow down this entire movie. I mean, presumably he's been swimming around and, going nuts in the ocean when he's not on screen, and so when Mechagodzilla comes out, they just, he doesn't have a lot of reserves left in him, and so it's a bit unfair.
So this also supports him not being fully rested and wasting his energy. Not to mention, since Godzilla wasn't completely rested, he hasn't recovered from the events of Godzilla Dominion, where he was tired and starving. Along with this, people like to argue that Godzilla was stronger due to visually being faster and stronger than 2014 and 2019. However, Adam Wingard did state that Godzilla glowing more was just for the aesthetics and doesn't correlate to his power, as much as people say he does due to Kino Lost's statement of glowing brighter equals stronger. Now, for being visually faster and stronger, it's as simple as Kong is a faster and more agile opponent than Ghidorah, who would be an easier target, to hit in the sky if you were to try to fly away, just due to how big he is. Godzilla could easily get off a shot. Just exactly how the guidebook stated that Godzilla shot Ghidorah out of the sky in Antarctica, and that's how he won. And now that we've gone over that Godzilla vs. Kong, Godzilla is weaker than his previous versions, like in 2019, let's get into how Mechagodzilla scales to Godzilla. Now, starting off, it is stated that Mechagodzilla is faster and stronger than Godzilla, as well as he's meant to be one step ahead of him. But there are many things that disagree with this. For example, we have statements from Jerry saying that Godzilla would beat Mechagodzilla within an inch of his life, and Adam Wingard saying that if Godzilla was fresh, he would do better against Mechagodzilla, implying that he would maybe win. Now, I don't think Godzilla would have beaten Mechagodzilla with such difficulty for a few reasons, and for one of the reasons is that Mechagodzilla was, the Godzilla that Mechagodzilla fought was 50%. Well, let me reword that. We know that GVK Godzilla is 50%, and the one that Mechagodzilla fights is 50% weaker than this 50%, so he is 25%. Which since he's 25%, Mechagodzilla, ragdolls him, but this isn't really that impressive. But what is hilarious, though, is that in the beam clash between Godzilla and Mechagodzilla, if you actually pay close attention to the beam clash, Godzilla's actually capable of halting Mechagodzilla's proton stream, to which it is then stated and shown that Mechagodzilla has to amplify the force of his proton stream.
Meanwhile, Godzilla lifts his head up and blasts out his blue atomic breath at his foe. Mechagodzilla counters with his red beam, and the two glowing rays meet in the air between them. The robot rears back and amplifies his ray, knocking Godzilla to the ground, and leaving the reptilian titan's chest glowing and smoldering.
And it's also visibly shown that Mechagodzilla is smoking in the beam clash. And on top of this, Mechagodzilla visually is not able to harm Godzilla except for give him a burn mark on his chest after the beam clash and a black eye. And keep in mind, this was all after his strongest attack, aka the proton stream, that is still powered by the same energy that Godzilla uses. So really, Godzilla is just getting hurt by himself. And other than that, Mechagodzilla was incapable of piercing Godzilla's skin, which is actually supported by Adam Wingard, who says that Mechagodzilla cannot pierce Godzilla's skin, and that Mechagodzilla's skin is, quote, impenetrable to Mechagodzilla's skin. And that he doubts that the proton stream would even kill Godzilla if it was shot down his throat, because we don't know if his insides are as durable as his skin on.
Comes close, I think maybe if he had blown that red beam down his throat, Muto style, that would have done him up, but potentially.
Who knows? We don't know what Godzilla's inside is made of. I mean, it might be just as strong, so who knows?
The outside. But I argue that they are, since they would have to survive Godzilla's atomic breath whenever it's fired. And now continuing on, it's both stated and shown that Kong has more brute strength than Mechagodzilla. And while even weakened 50%, and maybe probably even far lower than that, Kong is out here overpowering Mechagodzilla with one hand, knocking him to the ground, catching his attacks, reacting to them. And it's also stated that Mechagodzilla has to rely on Dura negation to do any damage to Godzilla, which is why whenever Mechagodzilla hits Godzilla, we see his organs glow blue. And this is already some huge downscaling for Mechagodzilla in terms of the strength and attack potency. But can his speed and durability save him? Well, in terms of ability, it's horrendous. I'm gonna say that. I think we all know this. And if not, his durability is probably worse than his AP. I mean, he got shredded by a charged axe from a 25% Godzilla, and while the axe does increase the power of the atomic breath, it's not exactly by a large enough margin where it's like a 2 times difference. I mean, even then, if Godzilla just shot the atomic breath at Mechagodzilla instead of the axe, it most likely would have killed him, since they say that Mechagodzilla could survive short bursts of the atomic breath, but not prolonged attacks. So if Godzilla were to just aim at Mechagodzilla and hold it there for a couple seconds, Mechagodzilla would just explode. And even with these low stats of Mechagodzilla, the question is, can his speed save him in any way? If he was in a fight against a stronger opponent, could he just perhaps blitz his opponent? Well, in terms of his combat speed, Mechagodzilla's proton stream is 2 times faster than the atomic breath, with it also being called a laser, which would already give it light speed, and due to being 2 times faster, it would be FTL. And other than that, he doesn't really have much for speed except ballistic at 25% Godzilla, so that's not really much of a speed feat there. As well as it being stated that Godzilla's faster than him without using his jets, so if Mechagodzilla just didn't use his jets at all in the fight against Godzilla, Godzilla would have been faster. And that's kinda it. And overall, Mechagodzilla's just pretty disappointed in scaling, and also writing in the Monsterverse, if I'm being honest. He was way too hyped up you know, he was hyped up to be a threat against Godzilla, but from what we actually see in all the statements that we have, he just doesn't compare to the other threats Godzilla's facing. I mean, take Ghidorah, the Musos, Rodan, Mothra, and even Ion Dragon and Kong. All of them have better showings than what Mechagodzilla. Like, Ghidorah bites into Godzilla's skin, the Musos pierce Godzilla's skin, Rodan is, he is directed by Godzilla, it's implied that he can pierce Ghidorah's skin. Mothra can pierce Rodan's skin, who can maybe pierce Ghidorah's skin off the implication. Also, her webs can hold Ghidorah in place. Ion Dragon can cause Godzilla to bleed around the neck. And Kong, even Kong, yes, was able to just perform against a better Godzilla than what Mechagodzilla did. I mean, even the novel tries to imply that Kong did better than Mechagodzilla, like it says he weakened him and such. But I mean, Mechagodzilla is he's really just not that good. I mean, the only thing you could really argue for Mecha is that he would try and speed blitz somebody in a fight, as he's like one of the faster kaijus in the Monsterverse, but like, even then, his AP just can't correlate with his speed. If you don't have good enough AP, you can't pierce Godzilla, 25% Godzilla's skin. You're not really gonna be doing much to other Titans. And with that being said, with Mechagodzilla being probably some of the bottom tiers in terms of the main Titans in the Monsterverse, it's really, people should really just stop overhyping it. And with that being said, if you guys could spread this video around to Mechagodzilla fans that you know of, so they can stop overhyping this tin can that's below more than half of the Monsterverse, it would be good. Because I'm tired of seeing people say that Mechagodzilla's above Shimu, above Thermo, etc., etc., and even Ghidorah. Like, come on. But, like always, if you guys have any questions or you want to discuss this with me, you can ask in the comments from my Discord, or you can just chat in the comments of this video. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you Mechagodzilla fans are crying right now. Goodbye.